क्या आप जानते हैं कि दक्षिण भारत के आंध्र प्रदेश में 32 मंदिर हैं जो समर्पित हैं भगवान श्री नरसिम्हा जी को। या फिर ये कि भारत में एक अकेला ऐसा एक मंदिर है जहाँ पर भगवान श्री विष्णु न सिर्फ नरसिम्हा अवतार में पूजे जाते हैं बल्कि उन्हें वराह नरसिम्हा स्वरूप में भी पूजा जाता है और शिव समुदाय के लोग इसे शिव मंदिर भी मानते हैं। This episode is our very first attempt to take you with us on a journey across some magnificent but lesser known temples across the country. Temples which have been enriched by devotion, tradition and Vedic practices. Temples which even today speaks volume about the epitome of architecture that our ancient Indian rulers had reached, which even today remains unparalleled. There has also been some controversies around this temple regarding the revenue generated. We'll look into that as well. Welcome to the 20th episode of Breathing History. The story behind this temple is that one day in his failed attempt to kill Prahlad, his father Hiranyakashipu got him thrown from a mountain top and put a big rock on top of him. तब भगवान ने प्रकट होकर प्रहलाद को बचाया और वर मांगने को कहा। तब प्रहलाद ने केवल यह वर मांगा कि जिस प्रकार आपने हिरण्याक्ष का वध किया वराह अवतार में और जिस प्रकार आप भविष्य में हिरण्यकश्यप का वध करेंगे नरसिंह अवतार में, तो आप उसी स्वरूप में यहाँ विराजित हो जाएं। कहा जाता है कि हिरण्यकश्यप को मारने के लिए नरसिंह भगवान को बहुत ही उग्र स्वरूप धारण करना पड़ा था। This anger made his body burn, and to cool him down, he is always covered with sandalwood paste. This sandalwood paste is changed once a year on Akshaya Tritiya. The sandalwood paste also gives the deity a look of a Shivalingam, which is why he is also worshipped as a Shiv temple. The historical significance of this temple is that it gets mentioned in the 8th century Chalukya Chola dynasty, then in the 13th century in Narasimhadev I, then in Vijayanagar Empire. Since 1949, this temple has been administered and managed by Simhachalan Devasthanam Board. Now let's talk about the architecture of the temple, but prior to that, let's have a darshan of the temple. The present temple is built by King Krishna Dev Raya, but prior to that King Narasimha Dev had already established it not only as a religious center but also as a center for education par excellence. The architecture finds influence from Kalinga to Kakatiya style to Chalukya and Chola dynasties because they all had added to the richness of this temple. This is also one of the very few temples in the country which faces west instead of east. It is said that it signifies victory. This is more than 1,000 years old temple and is a very powerful energy space. It is said that women who are not able to conceive come here and visit, and the deity is capable of giving progeny. Obviously, what it means is that the consecration is so powerful that it brings a positive change in one's body. This temple also happens to be the second richest temple in the state. As of 2013, its annual revenue collection was 60 crores. Firstly, the temple should be not looked at or judged by the amount of money it raises, or as we call it, revenue. Back in the day, it used to make sense when temple used to act like banks. But a temple being a revenue machine needs to stop. Secondly, due to this huge revenue, which is just a manifestation of people's belief and devotion towards the temple, it has been under government's control since 1949. They take a huge chunk of money and then they decide how the temple will run. 60 crore rupees annually. It's good to sponsor at least 17,800 kids, their full education, including transport, food, books, uniform, the infrastructure of the school every year. Or at least have one multi-speciality hospital in a metro city in India every year. This is like hiring around 600 IT engineers every year. My point is that it is important that the temple resources stay with the temple and the people who have been taking care of the temple through generations keep doing that. This is just one temple in one state. Think about all the temples in all the states which are under government control. Think about, instead of paying the government officials and diverting all the funds somewhere else, what if that resources and the money was used for the welfare of the society? Let us all think about this, and more importantly, let's do something about it. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.